and there's absolutely no room for error. We're getting ready for lights out here in Monte Carlo.
No heroics into Saint-Devant, please. We're in amongst the pack and just need to stay in one piece.
Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
So here we are, guys, on the grid of the Monaco Grand Prix, starting in 13th place. We're definitely in the mid-pack today. As you can see on the race strategy, we've got a two-stop going from the ultra soft, and then super softs to the end of the race. Interesting that there's no allocation of the soft tyres to use in the strategy. However, we can adjust that on the fly as and when we need to on the strategy. I'm not too sure what I'm going to do yet. One thing I am sure of doing is I'm going to stay out as long as humanly possible in order to not come in early and then possibly rejoin in some traffic. So as you saw just before, I showed that I'm not running any kind of setup. It's the stock engineer setup. So we are like on equal footing with the AI, and also as well the difficulty is on legend. So as you can see here, this is the formation lap, basically warming the tires, the brakes, getting it customized to the car on very heavy fuel, 78 laps worth of fuel. So we've got to burn off a lot of that around the course of the Grand Prix. It's actually quite hard to burn off a fuel at this track. I tend to stick the car in lean quite a bit, try and protect the rear tyres in terms of better tyre wear. So you'll often find it is hard to actually run out of fuel at this track. But either way, we are now gridding up for the Monaco Grand Prix. You can see we are quite a way down the grid, so there's always the potential of a first corner crash when you start this far back.
Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid is formed. Be ready with the clutch.
Okay, so I think we are just about ready to start this race, the Monaco Grand Prix. Manual starts as well, so we need to engage the clutch, find the optimal revs, and then launch this thing off the line to get this race underway. 5 red lights, and away we go for this Monaco Grand Prix. The initial launch was awesome. We jumped 3 cars off the start here, and now I didn't quite want to brave it into turn 1 and potentially cause a first corner crash. There's a yellow flag, virtual safety car. There's been some incidents happening further back in the pack there, and I had to readdress some illegal overtakes apparently. So I've addressed those. We're down to P12, so we've moved up 1 place off the start there. Virtual safety car is still active at the moment, and I've got to say I haven't seen the virtual safety car all too much in my time playing F1 2016, so it looks like in the full version of the game its chance of coming out is a little bit higher, and it's utilized in those situations where the safety car isn't quite needed. But the virtual safety car only lasts for about 30 odd seconds or so, and now we are back to the racing. So I'm guessing it was for maybe debris at the first corner or something like that, just as a safety measure, just as just to enable the debris or whatever to get cleared off the track. So now we rejoin with the racing. Like I said, lap number 2 here. We're following Romain Grosjean in the Haas F1 car, a new addition to this year's Formula 1 grid. We follow him through the Nouvelle chicane, and I don't know if you quite heard it there, but the McLaren Honda sounds absolutely awesome on the off-throttle downshifts. I was hearing that in the game sounds. It just sounded incredible. I'm going to have to give that car a bit of a go sometime in the next few days for you guys. But either way, following Grosjean, this is lap 4 now, and I found this initial part of the race to be a very big grind. I was really having to work away, trying to find out where the strengths and weaknesses are, and we go up the inside into the Rascasse corner, and that's our first overtake of the race, pretty much, moving up to P11. So this opening few laps, like I said, was a bit of a grind. I was really trying to build my confidence and just try and keep my nose clean early on, so that when we got towards the end of the race, the business end, I still have my car intact, I'd still be in a good position, and then I could really attack. So you can see locking up the inside front there into the first corner. Lost a whole heap of ground on Daniel Ricciardo there. That took me a good 2 or 3 laps to really catch up to Daniel there, and that's all that good work down the drain. Did very well to avoid the barrier there on the outside. The last thing I wanted was to crash out, and you can see Romain Grosjean, you can just see how much ground he made up just through that 1 corner alone. So yeah, it's turning into a very interesting race. This feels like one of the most realistic Monaco Grand Prix I've ever done in the past. You guys know that this track has been very OP for myself.